All right, welcome to Vodcast in the Morgue, where Spawn of Voorhees and I discuss various horror movie topics. Today, we are discussing the Nightmare on Elm Street series and doing our little rankings and kind of talking through why we ranked them, where we ranked them. So at this point, I'm going to let Spawn take the lead on this one and start with his pick, and then I'll see where it lines up. And we're going to work our way front to back. We're going to start with the original and end with the remake. So, Spawn, take it away.
Okay, so for me, I think this I think it's obvious. I think the original, which of course is, to me, the only person that can really play Freddy Krueger is Robert Englund, and for me, the OG is gonna be number one on the list for me. The original's my favourite film. I think Wes Craven, one of the all-time greats, rest in peace. And I've seen the Nightmare on Elm Street documentary. I don't know if people know this, but Robert Englund went through everything to get this role. He even sat there when he met Wes Craven, and to make himself look more weird and spooky, he actually somebody was having a cigarette, and the ashes. He dipped his finger in the ashes, licked it front of Wes Craven and put it all over his eyes and made his eyes look black. And Wes Craven's like, it's sort of like, what's going on, but he's sort of like that. And after that, he says, we're going to get Robert Englund.
I did not know that, actually. That's actually a cool little fact. I knew he pushed hard for it. I knew he wanted it, but I didn't know he went like that.
And a funny little fact again, I don't know, like, there's a documentary now, like you had Crystal Lake Memories.
Yep.
With Jason. There's one like that for the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, and it goes into it all. And Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one, was actually very partly based on a true story. Did you know that?
I think so. I think, if I recall, wasn't it about like a bully or something that he had?
What it was is you got the bully part, which is you had the old man who was looking for the window and it scared him, and he sort of put that with the actors. Wes Craven was a little kid and he was asleep.
I might be losing you again.
As he looked outside, there was this blowout. This to his brothers.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Is everything okay?
You're frozen again on my screen.
Yeah, it just, my connection's gone back up green now. So if I bring it over here a little bit, that should be okay. Is everything okay now?
Yeah, you're moving now. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. And when he looked through the window, he screamed. I mean, who wouldn't when he's that age, and shouted to his family, and they come and they couldn't see him. But not only that, it's very partly based on a true film as well. But very partly, there was this weird story in America when he was quite young, and he was reading it, and this kid kept saying, "Somebody's after me in my dreams." And his mum and dad put something in his drink to say, "Look, you got to sleep." He stayed up for ages. And he was like, "You don't know what you've done, you don't know what you've done, he's going to get me." He went to sleep and he never woke up again.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't...
Crazy.
Now, I haven't seen the documentary, but you are making me want to see it. Because, full disclosure for everybody here, like, obviously we're, Spawn and I are both horror fanatics. We talked about this just a little bit before we went live, was, if you were to rank the series, like all the horror series, the big ones like Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Ghost or Scream, all that other stuff, like this one ranks a little lower on my list. But as far as horror goes, like I still love the series. So I think Spawn's in the same boat. Like why it still ranks lower doesn't negate the fact that we love the film series. And I want to definitely check out that documentary. And I'm with you on this. On my end, this movie ranks on, I mean, obviously number one, the God tier. It's got Robert Englund, Langenkamp, John Saxon. You know, Robert Englund's Freddy, and as most horror fans know, maybe not John Q. Public, but most horror fans know, this is the first movie that Johnny Depp stars in. Spoiler alert: Amber Heard doesn't do anything in this one. But no, this is for me. I like this movie a little more than the reason I rank it higher is because while I like the sarcastic and like the funny Freddy, like to me, I want my bad guys to, unless you're the Joker, I want my bad guys to be like sadistic, maniacal. Like I don't really want them cracking jokes. And this was kind of Freddy as his most terrifying for me, especially as a kid. This came out when I was 6, so.
I agree. There's only, well, I'll go into it yet, but I will say there's only one more film where I think Freddy's even more petrifying in this other film than he is in the first one, but I will get into that.
Okay. All right. I feel like I know where you're going with that, and so I'm just going to make a little note here because I'm going to see if I'm right or not. Right here. Because part of the fun of these discussions is figuring out where you rank it versus where I rank it, and that's a lot of fun of these. Yeah, and so obviously this movie, was created in 1984, and it features a lot of the standard like slasher tropes that were it was made big by Leatherface and Halloween. Obviously this is Wes Craven's probably most known franchise. I don't necessarily think it's his best franchise or best film, but a lot of people would say that.
I agree.
R.I.P. to Wes Craven, by the way.
Yeah.
And one last little fact about this movie, if you don't have anything else to add, and if you do, please feel free. In 2021, this movie was nominated for preservation in the National Film Registry for the Library of Congress, so that's good for us. This movie will be around for a long, long time, and as a horror fan, it's nice to see horror kind of get that love.
Fully agree with you. Fully agree. I think filmmaking wise, and especially like special effects, which a lot of films these days just use CGI. Now, I've got nothing against CGI if it's used right, but I am more for the practical effects, and it's just a shame that even today, even though horror is more accepted, I still don't think for not even horror making, movie making in general, I don't think horror still gets the appreciation it deserves, and that's not even coming from me just because I'm a horror fan. I think a lot of the filmmaking and actors don't get the respect they deserve just because they're in the horror genre.
Yeah, and I think that's a whole. I think we can make that a whole 2-hour discussion, you and I, about the horror genre and where it's at. Because I mean, if we talk about various, I won't spend too much time on this, but if we talk about how horror was treated in the 70s and 80s versus how it is now with like Midsummer and Heredity and versus like other campy movies like Slumber Party Massacre and Nail Gun Massacre and all that other stuff, there's definitely a huge difference.
Yeah, I fully agree. So yeah, I mean, there you go. That's something else we could touch on.
Yeah, that's actually a conversation. Once we get through some of the series here, that's actually a conversation I would love to have. And speaking to your point, practical effects. The scene where I believe it was Amanda Weiss's character, where she's dreaming and then she like starts floating and spinning over the bed. Oh, it terrified the shit out of me when I was a kid. Terrified the crap out of me.
Yeah, and it's brilliant and funny. A little funny fact, nothing to do with the series in general. It's my mom. Remember her telling me, like, when the Nightmare on Elm Street film first come out, she seen it. Now my mum's not on a horror buff; she can watch more now, because I'll show her some of them. But, the part where Freddy Krueger comes in out the wall, Nancy's sleeping.
Ah,
Yep. She can't watch Freddy. She's petrified of him.
yeah. I mean, and I think that's kind of, for a lack of a better term, the charm of Freddy is a character that we can avoid Camp Crystal Lake. Like you and I, we don't have to go camping. We don't have to go to Haddonfield. Like those are things that we can avoid. We can't avoid sleeping, and we can talk about this later because I know they kind of try. But like Freddy's always there. Eventually your body has to sleep, and eventually we're going to dream, and that's the most. I think that's the terrifying aspect of Freddy is that he's always there, and that's. Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid too, I'm with your mom, laying on the bed and got my pillow and like looking at the back of the wall, making sure like nobody's like looking over me.
I will say, because I'm with you. Like when it comes to Nightmare on Elm Street, it's more down on the list, but I still love Freddy Krueger. I love the character and I love the films. I do think he's one of the more unique killers because of the fact that what do? You have to fall asleep, so I can't imagine like if you're actually petrified of the character Freddy Krueger when you first watch that film, knowing you've got to go to sleep, you're actually going to fall asleep. That must be petrifying.
Oh yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more, and that's and like I said, that's probably for why I still love the character and watch the series is just that fear. All right. Well, do you have anything else you want to add to part one?
The only thing I'll add is the brilliance of Wes Craven, again taking horror in a different direction with his mind. So again, rest in peace to Wes Craven, and thanks to Wes Craven, we have our icons like Freddy and Ghostface. So rest in peace to Wes Craven.
Yeah, that was his death was a huge loss to the horror community, and one that I felt there's been a couple of deaths in the horror community where you're like, oh man, that sucks, and you're kind of down bad, but his was one that really hit me, just because I mean you got what not only the Nightmare on Elm Street series, but Scream, Last House on the Left. Those. Those. Such an instrumental figure in horror.
Yeah, he's a legend in filmmaking for sure. 100%. I love Wes Craven.
All right, so now we're going to move on to A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, and this is going to be an interesting one for where I want to see where it falls for you. I know where it falls for me, obviously, but go. I'll let you take the lead here on this one.
Okay, now this is one of the Nightmare on Elm Street films that I see a lot of people do not like for some reason. This is high up on my list. This is the evilest Freddy we've got, in my opinion. And for me, it is ranked at number 4 on my list.
Number 4?
It finishes number 4.
Okay.
When he literally like comes out of Jesse's body, that scene when I first seen it is mental. Now I don't like. I'm sure people know this, but there's a big commentary on it, and it's known as the. I don't know if it's okay to say this because I like. It's not bad to say because it's known as this film, but they call it the gay Friday the 13th, Gay Nightmare on Elm Street film.
Yeah, it's very it's very pro LGBTQ and very very open to that.
And in my opinion, I've seen people in the discussions say this is why they don't like it. Now, to me, that's very sad that we've. Let me just throw this in that we've still got people that have a problem with other people and how they live their lives. For good people, cares.
Yeah, let me go with it. Let me go even farther with this. If because I don't want that in my community. If you are anti any of that, please unfollow me. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't want that. So
Yeah, yeah. You're like me. I can't deal with that, and I can't deal with any racism or anything like that. For me, like this is totally off topic here to a degree, but again, I guess it's not because we're
no,
doing this
yeah,
together. So
yeah, no,
it's
I agree. It's very much the theme of the movie, so it definitely needs to be discussed. I think.
it does, and I'll say this as well because us doing videos together, we're sort of joining our communities. So with what you just says, like I can't be dealing with people that I don't want them in my community. People don't mean to. And it's okay to have different views. Stuff and my video connecting's just gone a bit weird. Hopefully it goes back normal. It's gone back normal.
Yeah, you're good now. Yep.
But yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, and I just want to say, man, I don't care how somebody is. Just being a decent person, that's all that matters, and being open to opinions and being an idiot over films either. Like you see in the horror community, unfortunately, with like people might not agree with the film and then they take it too far, and we've seen it. But I'll say back to Nightmare on Elm Street 2. In my opinion, this is the evilest Freddy we've got. There's some plot lines that are a bit weird that goes away from Freddy 4, I guess, where he just appears and he's like, "You're all my children now." That's a great line, and I love that scene. But it doesn't add into the Freddy lore how he can just appear like that. I will say the kill on Jesse is one of the big highlights for me. Just it's mental. We just ripped him apart. When I first seen that, I was like, "What the hell is he?" When I was young, I was like, "What the hell?" And now, even though this film's above this, like I say, it's ranked number 4 for me. This is my favourite Robert Englund performance as Freddy. I think he's just pure evil. Like, he's got like, you've got the body and I've got the brain, and he rips his brain open.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting you to rank it so high, for honestly. Because for me, I personally have this movie at a 7, and it has nothing to do with it being the homoerotic themes and stuff like that. For me, while I personally know Mark Patton and we are Facebook friends, like, I can't stand his performance in this movie.
Really?
Like Jesse. The only way I can describe Jesse, his character is like the kid from the Babadook. Like, it drives me nuts, and Jesse's the same way, and his character just like really takes me out of the film, but like to your point, though, I do agree that this is a very devious and a very straight to the point Freddy. The pool scene is a great scene. It might not make a lot of sense, but it's a great scene.
It completely goes from the lore of Nightmare on Elm Street, but it's a great scene, and it's weird. I sort of like that you brought that up because I like Jesse's performance, and I also like Lisa's performance. And there's one scene that really makes me laugh that shouldn't make me laugh. In the film, I always burst out laughing, and I don't think it was intended to be funny. But the part where he's kissing Lisa,
Yep.
and then his tongue just like comes out, and it's like being weird. That part cracks me up for some reason. It's so weird and bizarre. I think this is why I love this film, because it's just so separate to the other films, in my opinion. And that, for me, is why it is ranked pretty high. Number 4 is pretty high for me. So I do enjoy that film, but I will be honest, as I don't mind Jesse's performance, but it's Robert Englund's performance of Freddy that ranks it before for me.
Well, you touched on an interesting point there, and when as soon as you said it, I was like, oh shit, I actually agree with that. Is that this does kind of feel like the standalone, like Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Like how we have Halloween 3, but that one doesn't actually have Michael Myers. Like this is Halloween, or this is Nightmare on Elm Street 2, but it does have Freddy. Like this does kind of feel different because obviously it doesn't have any of the quote unquote Dream Warrior kids, or I mean, I'm jumping ahead here, but like the Elm Street kids, like kind of from the original. And then it doesn't, if I'm not mistaken, and I haven't completely refreshed my mind, but a lot of these characters I don't think we hear from again, right?
We don't, and I don't know if you've noticed this, and could be a little thing that you'll see go on as we go on to other franchises. They kind of like the oddball of the films. You know, you look at Jason Goes to Hell, as we touched on in the Friday the 13th. That's a big fan favourite of mine, and it's the same here with Nightmare 2, Freddy's Revenge.
Well, it's interesting you rated it so high, and but I understand your reasons why, and I'm glad we're both not to rehash the subject, but I'm glad we're both like-minded in the social commentary of the movie.
Yeah,
I think it's very important, and so for all you weren't aware, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Return of Robert Englund as Freddy. This is a couple years after he was beaten in the first one. Stars Mark Patton. So Mark, if you're watching, which I doubt you probably are, but if you are, I'm sorry that I crapped all over your acting. Kim Myers as Lisa, Robert Russler, the great Glue Gallagher, as Ken Walsh, Tom McFadden, and then obviously the return of Robert Englund. And like I said, this one ranks only one higher than one other film for me. So spoiler, because spoiler, you know what that one is. So
yeah. Because if I remember right, there's 9 films in the franchise.
I have 8. I didn't do Freddy vs. Jason again.
I'll put that in. I'll put anything that had Freddy in.
Okay, well, I didn't, since we touched on it on the first one, so but we can obviously I'll just rehash what I said before, so I'm good with that.
Yeah, and I'll throw something in as well to do with Part 2. Did you know they tried to replace Robert Englund?
Oh, really?
They tried to replace him. I can't remember the bloke's name. They was like, because the first one done so well, and they want to pay a lot of money to get Robert back. I said, I'll just throw somebody's under the makeup, we'll get it. They've done it, and they're like, it looks horrible, and they're just like, you know what? Just pay Robert and let's get Robert. And but yeah, that's the first time they ever actually tried to replace Robert Englund. It didn't work, and then they give him the end, and then pay him a good chunk of money, which he deserves. He made a horror icon.
Well, thank God that didn't work out, because he's probably one of the most iconic horror figures in the genre.
Fully agree.
All right, let's move on to Dream Warriors Part 3.
You want to go first, or do you want me to?
Yeah, no, this one, I can go first if you want me to. So this one, obviously we have the first one ranked at number 1. This one falls at the number 2 slot for me. I rank this one right up there, for a lot of different reasons. Mostly for Patricia Arquette and Heather's performances in these movies, and the fact that I don't think I've ever been comfortable around snakes or lizards, because I've always felt like they're going to swallow me whole, and all because of that movie. So this one ranks really high for me, and to me, the reason it ranks number 2 is because it connects from the first one, but then it really builds upon essentially the lore that we know of for Freddy. with Weston, with the Weston Hospital, Hypnosil, and kind of really brings the series together. I think, like, for me, if you were to look at a series look at the series as a whole, a movie that really ties all the movies together, except for maybe the second one, is this movie here.
I fully agree.
So where do you have this one at?
Number 2.
Oh, okay, all right, bet.
It's at number 2. I love this film. If I'm honest, the 1 and 2 was very hard for me because it's like as good as the original is. This is. See, I can answer that. I know why it's number 2. For the more serious Freddy, you can't help but laugh at Freddy sometimes. He just cracks them out and it works. It's one of them characters that works like Chucky works, with his the way he talks and everything, and like he can make you jump, he can make you laugh, and I think this is the definite mixed horror aspect with the comedy aspect of Robert Englund's Freddy Krueger, and I think he mixes it just right.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a perfect mixture of sadistic and comedic at the same time, and I think this is the perfect balance between what Freddy ultimately is and what Freddy used to be in the first one and the second one, where sadistic, but then like he kind of leans more towards the comic relief now. This is the perfect blend for that.
I fully agree, and I just want to say as well, because I've got 9 films here. Do you want me to scratch out Freddy versus Jason now?
No, we can talk about it. It's fine. We're good.
Okay. But yeah, Dream Warriors, and let's not forget the soundtrack. It's absolutely amazing.
Yes, that is correct. If I'm not mistaken, it's was it Dokken that did it?
Yeah, Dawkins, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a great soundtrack, and we also did a great music video for it.
So the soundtrack, yeah, like if you have a movie that is good, but then you have like a soundtrack that is just phenomenal, it really elevates the movie. Like, I mean, look at The Crow. Like, I think The Crow soundtrack is my favorite soundtrack, and it really helps elevate that movie. And you're right, this soundtrack here is just an absolute banger.
It is. I think I'm right in saying this. I think Dream Warriors is probably most fun Freddy film in my opinion. Just like the old Let's Get High and all that, it's fantastic.
It's got some great kills. This is the famous marionette kill, right? Where he uses his veins as the strings and
do you know, whenever I watch Dream Warriors,
I think I lost you again. Your connections.
that still makes me just like no.
Hold on, we're getting there.
It's gone back green now.
All right, go ahead.
That kill is a kill that still makes me feel the pain when it's happening, just how like the veins and it pulls out, man. Yeah. And it still looks amazing to this day.
Yep.
It looks so evil, laughing like when he cuts him, and you can tell he's enjoying it. It's Dream Warriors is fantastic, man. Like, I will say, watch a lot of ranking videos as well. I've been watching ranking videos for years. And Dream Warriors is most people's favourite Nightmare on Elm Street film.
And yeah, I mean, I feel like it's the only reason it's 2 is just because I got to respect the OG, the one that created it all, and obviously if that film's not good, we don't get very many more. So we got the. For me, I always try to put the OG at 1, and if it's deserving. Obviously, there's some scenarios where that's going to change, but Hellraiser, I'm looking at you, and Evil Dead, I'm kind of looking at you too. So I feel like, but I think 3 is just on par with it. I mean, I'm with you. It was a hard choice for me.
It is. It's fantastic. Like I said, the only reason why I've got the original over there is because it's a more serious Freddy. But I still enjoy the comedic side of Freddy as well. It balances it well. You know,
Yep.
like I've touched on before, I think Chucky does that well as well.
And it wasn't afraid. So, spoiler. I'll give you guys 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It wasn't afraid to break a tradition, and that was kill a main character. This ultimately, for those of you who watched it or might not have watched it and are stuck around, this is the end of Nancy. She dies in this movie, and that was a huge moment because you always kind of figured that she was safe. I mean, being the final girl from the first one, and then coming back, like, kind of having that final girl trope, you figure she was safe, and then they throw you a curveball.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm still pissed about it. I'm still pissed about it. I'm still pissed about it. I was pissed about it when I first watched it as a kid, and I still get pissed about it when I watch it now.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. It was definitely one of those things where it caught you off guard. You couldn't believe they did it. You're like, well, maybe that's a dream. Maybe she's gonna wake up, and nope, she doesn't.
Yeah, I remember watching it. I was like, "You taking the fucking piss? You killed her off." It worked, man, because it shot me. It's one of them things where your jaw drops because it's like the main character, and you're like, "What?"
Yep. It was definitely one of those moments where you kind of sit back here and you're like, oh shit, like what just happened? And but yeah, this is I'm glad you rank it high. I'm glad it ranks so high for you because and to your point, yeah, there's a lot of people that rank this movie high as well. But then you get a lot of people who just, I don't say a lot, but you get some people who just don't like it for whatever reason, whether it's because Nancy dies or it's because Freddy starts becoming a little comical or whatever like that. But it's a perfect blend, I think, and it captures everything well, and it has great scares. Great scares.
Fantastic, and the kills are just some of the most creative. Like when you watch a film, especially back in the days of the 80s and stuff, you can go back even further with films, and it still holds up with the kills.
Oh yeah,
they're doing something special there.
Yeah, it's definitely one that I highly recommend for anybody who hasn't seen it.
I'm fully with you, mate. Like, like I say, it's got the perfect blend of the horror, Freddy, blended well with the comedy aspect, because this is where they really started to show his personality more with his one-liners and the jokes coming. I think this is the one where they blended it the most.
Yep, I'm 100% with you. So I'm going to create a poll right now because we are 3 of 8 or 9. I'm going to create a poll right now. What series should we cover next? Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I'm excited when we get Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm
Same.
excited for that one.
I'm gonna add Scream to this since Nightmare's off. So I got Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, Scream. I gotta put Aliens on there for the Scottish Geek.
Yeah, she's mad on the Alien.
And then Hellraiser or Child's Play. Which one should I put on there?
Let's do Hellraiser.
Hellraiser.
All
right.
Hellraiser.
Perfect. Too late. You missed it. All right, we got the poll up. That'll be live for like the next 10 minutes, I think. All right. All right. So moving on, we have Halloween. I am just off my game today. We have a Nightmare on Elm Street 4, A Dream Master. This one is from 1988. So essentially, the these movies are getting cranked out once a year. I didn't realize that till just this second. Because Nightmare came out in 84, then 85, 86, now. Yeah, I probably missed one. In 88 here. This one is obviously the return of Robert Englund's Freddy Krueger. And I will let you go first on this one.
Okay. For some reason, a lot of people don't like Part 4. I do. This is at number 6 for me. Dream Master. And I will admit this is where, like, Freddy to a degree goes out of control with the jokes. And it's just like bang in your face. But it's there's still some great kills in this. The old Jonas Suck face, that's the Freddy where he's like shark almost in the sand. And
you think both of us have the same worst one? Yes, that's my bet. Sorry, I was reading chat while you're saying that. Somebody asked if do we think we both have the same worst one, and I said yes. So, but my bad. Proceed.
100%, yeah, I'll just say now that yes, 100% I believe our last one will be the same. I'll fall off my chair if it's not. But yeah, Part 4, Nightmare 4, Dream Master, lightest film. A lot of people hate on it. I don't understand why. Yes, the comedy's thrown in your face more. It still works with Freddy. He's that character. He can. Let's put it this way, right? When you look at the horror franchise, there's not many that can have this scary version work and then the ultimate comedy work. He does it both, and you know I'll still watch it and have fun with it. Like Part 4, this is why it's at number 6 for me with Part 4. I don't really have a lot more to add on for Part 4. Whenever I watch it, the scene Jonas Suck face and just literally sucks the soul out of her, just cracks me up every time. I love it.
So yeah, this one, Part 4, I actually have at number 4 for me total. Ranks a little higher. I like the fact that they brought some of the characters back from 3. Obviously, Patricia Arquette being replaced by Tuesday Night, who takes over the role of Kristen. Which, to me, that's when she becomes kind of a little more annoying to me, honestly. Because I definitely preferred Patricia Arquette over Tuesday, but not to discredit Tuesday at all. I think she did a good job. And bringing a lot of the Dream Warriors back, the Dream Elm Street kids, so to speak. Ken, what's his name? Ken Sago comes back as Roland. Robert being back as Freddy, you know, and like this, you are correct. Like this is the one where Debbie turns into a roach and crushes her in the Roach Hotel. Like it becomes the kills are comical and they're not nearly as scary as the original, like the other 3, and I think that's why it kind of starts to fall down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, obviously, poor Debbie getting turning into a roach is not the way to go.
I fully agree. That kill's just. If you ever watching Part 4, peeps, watch it if you're having something to eat.
What was that?
Yeah, I'm just saying to people that are watching, maybe that if they're hungry, this is not a film to put on and have something to eat too. Not with.
Oh no. Do not. Nope. And
it's disgusting.
it is, and definitely I hate bugs, so I have a phobia of bugs. I don't know why, but I do, and that just does not do anything for me at all. And I'm good.
I'm the same. I don't like bugs too much. Don't bother me, but Spiders in general, I'm not the biggest fan of spiders. Nope. I don't like spiders.
It's because of the movie. It could be it very well could be because of the movie.
It could be. It could be. It can do that to you.
So this one has a little bit of a little fun backstory to it. Wes Craven presented his own pitch for this movie, and the producers actually turned it down and went with the Dream Warriors concept from the previous film, which is I'd obviously like to see what Wes Craven's. I'm always going to be on the side of Craven. He started it, so I think he should have gotten the vote of confidence there.
I fully agree. Now I'm not gonna lie. I either didn't know that or I just forgot. I must have forgot because I've watched the documentary, but I must have completely forgot about that he brought up his own version of it.
Yeah, and another
been interesting.
And another fun fact from this movie, Linnea Quigley, who is best known for Trash in The Return of the Living Dead, is actually one of the souls that comes out of Freddy's chest. Me being a huge fan of Return of the Living Dead, that was a little Easter egg that I just found out not too long ago, and I was like, oh, that's freaking awesome. I didn't know that.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that either. I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm a huge Linnea Quigley fan. I love her as Trash. Yeah, I love that movie. Like not a lot of people see like if you're just like a fan of like horror, you're like, yeah, well, Night of the Living Dead. It doesn't really follow that. Like Return of the Living Dead's kind of goofy, but I feel like horror fans understand what Return of the Living Dead was trying to be and why it's so good. And I know I'm getting sidetracked. We can definitely have another discussion about that later. But all right.
So, mate, when you were talking, do you want me to mute my mic like nothing's interrupting it or anything?
No, you're good. No, you're good.
Okay, mate.
No, you're perfect. You're good. No, I only mute on occasion. I only mute myself on occasion if I'm reading chat, just to make sure that I'm not interrupting you, because I don't want you to stop your train of thought.
Okay, mate. Okay, it's all right. I just wanted to make sure that you know nothing more.
No. All right, so speeding right along to A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5. The Dream Child. I guess I can go first on this one since you went first on the last one. So fittingly, at number 5, I have Part 5. This is to me the movie where it really does go full on slapstick comedy. To the point that it's kind of annoying. And I don't know, like I think the series gets progressively worse until we get to another film, and then but yeah, not a huge fan of this movie. Even though it's ranked at number 5, it's still something that Amanda Kruger and all that other stuff and the kid, I don't know, just a little weird for me.
Oh yeah, I agree. Right. Do you want me to tell you where mine is?
Yeah, oh yeah, go right ahead.
The Dream Child is at number 7 for me.
Number 7, okay, all right.
Will say I don't completely hate this film. There's still some aspects that I enjoy, but I agree the comedy aspect it just feels like even in part 4 the comedy aspect was thrown in your face, but I feel it worked more in part 4. It was more funny. Some parts in this it just feels annoying.
Yep.
A few parts that work with it, and I do like some stuff they're doing, and I do appreciate that they wasn't scared to make it even further in your face. I respect them for that. Overall, I can watch it, yes, but I only ever, it's one of them Nightmare on Elm Street films where I only ever really watch if I'm doing a Nightmare marathon, or let's say I'm showing the franchise to somebody new. They haven't seen all the films, then I'll watch it then. I mean, I can get through it fine. It's not a film where I can't wait for it to finish. Like, it's not that bad. Yeah, but Nightmare 5, it's just...
Yeah, and it does the whole, like, I don't know how to word this correctly. I like, obviously I love horror, but like I also like some sense of like basic understanding of like science, and then like her being like Amanda Kruger being raped by like 100 maniacs at the halfway house, and like, okay, that's fine, but only one person can be Freddy's dad. Like, it doesn't matter how many times. Like, it's just one of those guys is his dad, and I don't. Yeah,
I fully agree. It, like, there's a few. Like I say, with this, it's like I say, it's a meh film. Like, there's parts that I enjoy, and then I'll just watch some parts, and I'm just like, push that much. It's not even funny. Like, even the funny aspects are not working now.
agreed.
And there's some cool shots in it. I like the old, like, where the pram's like going down, and then Freddy's just there. That look kind of spooky. And there's some really cool shots that they're done. And it's just a mere film that I don't hate. Like I say, when I'm watching it, it's not one of them where I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait for it to finish. It's nothing like that. I can put it on and watch it and still have a decent time with it. But it's not a film that I ever go back to, like I say, unless I'm doing a marathon or showing somebody the franchise that may not have watched it before.
I am 1,000% with you. I don't think there's, other than the first time it came out, I don't think there's ever been another point in my life where I'm like, hey, you know what? Let's watch a Dream Child. Like,
I've never sat there and thought, you know what? Let's watch Dream Child. Nope.
yeah, it's not been anything that's been on my a list, and it's just yeah, and just, even though I'm so negative of it, like, and it still ranks kind of high. I mean, it's for me, like, because obviously I didn't rate Freddy vs. Jason, so 5 out of 8. So there's still, 6, 7, 8. There's still 3 other movies that I think are worse.
I agree. I agree. And something else to throw in, this might surprise you. Like, Nightmare 4. Now, there is times where I feel like, you know what, I'm going to watch part 4. I think I did it like about a year and a half ago, something like that. And there is times I do feel like watching part 4. I couldn't sit down. There is a film sometimes I feel like watching.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever done that with any of them other than the first one and Dream Warriors. And Freddy vs. Jason, even though
I don't know.
Yeah. But there's still, I still watch it just because of the Jason aspect. But yeah, there's, I think as far as the franchise as a whole, really, there's only 2 or 3 where I'm like, hey, let's sit down and watch this. And but obviously, on the other side of the token, if like I actually have the television on and it's like on TV, I'm like, well, hey, I'm watching this now. Like, even if it is part 5.
Yeah, do you know what, you've just described it the best, right? Randomly appears. Let's say I watched part 5 for 4 or 5 years for whatever reason, and it comes up on telly. I can watch it. It's not something I can turn off. It's not that bad. I do think with changing subject or anything, but I don't know if you'll agree with this. I see things these days. There's never middle ground anymore with films. It's either really bad or it's the best film you'll ever see.
Yeah, and I think that's
sorry, mate. Go on.
No. I think you're right. I think that's just I think that's the current, for lack of a better term, the current meta for like social media. It's either you either absolutely love it or like it's just absolute shit. There is no middle ground, and I don't agree with that at all.
It's like I say, is Part 5 a great movie? No, but is there some good stuff in it? Yeah, there is.
Oh yeah,
there's some decent stuff in it.
yeah. If I'm watching, if I'm channel surfing and it's like, hey, wow, I have Friday the 13th on my mind today. If Friday for Part 5 is on, I'm like, hey, I'm watching it. That's just what we're watching.
Yeah, I'm the same, and you put it the best way that you could have is if it's on telly, I can easily sit down, open a can, and watch it.
All right. Well, I think we touched on everything on that one, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the ironically named Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare. And I can't remember who went first that one. I think I did. You go.
It was you, so I'll go with this.
Okay.
Right. Freddy's Dead. This is. Don't forget, I've got Freddy vs. Jason in this one, so I've got 9 films rated. Freddy's Dead is at number 8 for me.
Okay. All right.
It's at number 8. Now, this might, because it's at number 8, this is, I can't explain it because it's sort of just touched on what to just where, the film's either fantastic or it's the worst film ever made. Freddy's Dead feels like a Looney Tunes film.
Oh, that is a very good description.
It just, even the old where he's like pushing it and he's like, oh, that's it, folks, or something, and then he drops down. It just something out of Looney Tunes. Now, don't get me wrong. Even though this is at number 8, I completely do not hate this movie. It's, how can I? To me, this is the. I can't even explain it because it's more fun than Dream Child. Let's put it this way. If somebody said to me, "You've got to watch Freddy's Dead or Nightmare 5," even though Nightmare 5 is in front of it, because I think it's a better made movie. I think Freddy's Dead, even though it's not a great movie, the fun aspects work. The old Looney Tunes thing, and like where he's like on the bloody broom like he's a witch. It's so mental that it's funny.
I agree. It is. There are moments in this movie you're like, what am I watching? Like, is this a Looney Tunes commercial? Like a cartoon? Like, what is happening? Like, like Breckenmeyer in the video game. Like, what? Like, that is just so out there, and it's great too, and that's the best part. Is like, it's really like Freddy has done a complete like 180. Like at first he's like this maniacal, sadistic, wants revenge for being burned alive, to essentially like. He's Wile E. Coyote, and he's always chasing the Roadrunner, which is like just whatever kids fall asleep for whatever reason. And it's these kills are crazy. And
it's bouncing up and down. It's mental, man.
Yeah,
it's weird because it's at number 8 for me, but I don't completely hate this film. Like I'll say, even though Nightmare 5 is above this, I just think because it's a better made movie, it looks better than Freddy's Dead. That's the only reason why it's above it for me. But if I had to choose between watching Freddy's Dead and Nightmare 5, it'd always be Freddy's Dead, just because of how mentally bizarre it is, and every time I watch it I'm in stitches with how daft it is. It's just mental. And he's got the glove and he's like playing with power now. It's mental, and he's like bop bop bop. It cracks me up. Yep.
And I for the most part we are in agreement. For me, this ranks 6 overall. We're right under It was a toss up, like, and honestly, I'm with you. At any point, we could flip these two, 5 and 6, um, and then listen to you explain it. It's kind of weird, but I do agree with you that I could easily, I could watch Freddy's Dead more than I could watch Dream Child. But for whatever reason, like I feel Dream Child is a more polished film.
I agree. It looks better. Let's not forget Freddy's Dead's got Alice Cooper in it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's a huge thing. Huge thing. And you know what turns me off, and I guess, which is unfair because I still rank Friday the 13th Part 4 really high, is that, you know, this is like quote unquote Freddy's Dead, but he's not. And no, I did, because that's Friday the 13th Part 4 is where Jason dies, and in this one, like, Freddy's dead, but obviously he's in Freddy vs. Jason. I mean, as far as film series go, this is the 6th one, and so there's 2 more that doesn't include Freddy vs. Jason, so yeah, I guess this is essentially the end of Freddy in the New Line era, but that by him coming back in like Freddy vs. Jason, and then to a lesser extent a New Nightmare, it was off-putting that was called Freddy's Dead, because you always know that he wasn't dead, like he's not dead, he'll be back, and to me that was always kind of off-putting.
Like Halloween ends, it's not going to be the end.
Yeah, like they could say they're going to kill off Michael, but if that thing makes $100 million, there'll be another one.
yeah, and now I'm guilty for this because, like, with the Friday the 13th franchise, Halloween franchise, any of them, like, I've got to admit, I'm never one of these where it's like, oh, enough. Like, Halloween in 10 years, Halloween 30 comes out, I'll still get excited.
Yeah, for it. I mean, I'm that way too. Like, I might not like it. I mean, when Halloween, the new trilogy got announced, I was like, oh, really? All right. But I was excited for it. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm in. And I'm with you. Like, if Robert Englund decided to make one more Nightmare on Elm Street, my nipples would be as hard as the fucking diamond in a winter storm, man. I mean,
that meme from Scream, where it's like, are you excited for Halloween? And she's there, like that.
Yeah, yep.
The meme. That's brilliant. I love that meme.
Just a heads up, I got asked in chat, after we rate all the films, what do we think the best kill that Freddy did in the whole series? So you got a little bit to think about that.
Good, you know mine.
I think I know mine. I'm pretty sure I know mine, but I'm gonna think about that a little longer. All right, so we're through 6 already. So now we're up to, I guess chronologically, A New Nightmare. Wes Craven's A New Nightmare. This film has divided a fan base. I think more than Friday the 13th Part 5, Halloween 3. I think this one's really divided the fan base. So, shit, you went first there, didn't you? On that one? All right, so for me, I have... excuse me. I have A New Nightmare at 3 for me. I personally enjoy it. Mostly because I like how it pays homage to the original series, but kind of makes, like, it gives Robert and Heather a chance to be like Robert and Heather, and it's a really cool concept of how they're dealing with, like, Nightmare on Elm Street, and how this demon is now kind of bringing Freddy to life, so to speak, in the quote-unquote real world. And I loved it. Excuse me, right. um, I think it's I think it's a fantastic film, and I enjoy New Nightmare. So where would you rank that at?
I'm with you. This is at number 3. I absolutely love this film.
Oh hell yeah, hell yeah!
Like the entire franchise, if I'm being honest, even though this is at number 3, probably my most watched nightmare film that I put on. I love how different it is. I love the idea of just spoiler alert for people that may not have watched this, but whole idea that Freddy can now officially get you in the real world. It's mad, and I love how I forgot the kid's name, but his performance was fantastic. And just
As Heather's the kid is Heather's son.
I forgot his name.
You're talking about Heather's son, right?
Yeah.
So that's a fun little tidbit. That is Miko Hughes, aka Gage from Pet Sematary, the one that gets hit by the semi.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah. I've my memory. Yeah. Wow. How did yeah. His performance is amazing in this, and the film is just like. I remember saying to because my sister's a horror fan too. I remember like this on and saying, "Look, you like horror films? Watch this." And I remember her head was like,
Hey, Sinfornia.
"Oh, what's going on?"
I see your message.
Like, film within a film. It confused us so much because it's a film within a film. Like you got Freddy Krueger from the films coming into the real world, and just the owl. I'll tell you what's touching as well. Watching it is that you got an innocent kid. We've all been kids once, and got Rex, the teddy bear that he thinks can protect him, and that's what kids do. They hold on to like teddies and stuff, thinking they can protect them.
Yep.
And how he wakes up and Freddy's like slashed it. Just that whole scene alone is magnificent to me because it's just like, my God, like when you're a kid, people do that. They get to like the teddies and think they can protect them. That little loss of innocence there is just so powerful, in my opinion. This is my most watched Nightmare on Elm Street film. Is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I adore this movie.
It's a good one, and like I said, I'm glad you rank it high because like I said, mine is 3 as well, and I like it. I mean, I like how it just kind of it brings back the '84 original. I mean, it brings back Heather. It brings back Robert as Robert. He doesn't have to do the torturous makeup sessions as much. Miko Hughes, obviously, a little throw to Cage there from Pet Sematary. John Saxon. Lynn Shay, who's a huge person in the horror community. Tuesday Night comes back. Wes Craven gets to play himself. I mean, it's all it's just a fun movie, and you get to see also kind of back end of like how horror movies are kind of made because they're talking about scripts and screenplays in the movie, and it's really fun. I really liked it.
I think the film's fantastic. I think, like I say, it's like kind of crazy that it's so high.
Thank you for the 32-month resub after the fall. Appreciate you.
Yeah, like even though you got Dream Worries and Nightmare the original above this, it's this is my when I want to watch a Freddy film. This is the one I normally put on first.
Yeah, I mean I have 3 go-tos, and this is the third one. So I 4 go-tos because I forgot the one I didn't include. But yeah, this is, I mean, people can be mad about this movie because a lot of people are mad because it's not a true quote-unquote Freddy. Which I mean, whatever. I mean, if that's if that's why you get mad about a movie, then I don't know if horror is the right for you. I think because it still touches on all the great aspects of horror, and it's a good cinema.
Yeah, I agree. You see, when it comes to like horror films and most things in general, I'm not like that hard to please when it comes to. This is going to be a weird analogy, but I'll try and put it as simple as possible. I'm very easy when it comes to horror films. Like, if it's got something that I like, that I can still watch it. Like when I get to the cinema or I pick up a Blu-ray or a 4K or whatever it may be. I'm not expecting a 5 star out of 5 star. It's like if I never seen Nightmare 5 and I went to the store and brought that for the first time, come back, I'll be satisfied. It's not the best film in the world, but it's certainly not crap. And this is the weird analogy with it. I'm like food and drink. If I like it, that's all I need.
Yeah.
It's like a weird analogy, but that's how I am with films as well. It's like just give me a film I like that's average at best. I wasted my money and I wasted my time at the cinema.
And that's the thing is like I wish people had a better uh I don't say better understanding, but I wish they have like a better grasp on that. Like, sure you can have high end horror like Heredity and Midsummer and uh Get Out and how kind of all these have been critically acclaimed, but that doesn't take away from some of like the the aspects of horror and like the cheese of horror. Like I mean, for me, like Slaughter High, Chopping Mall, Return of the Living Dead. Like those movies are also great movies. And like to just, I'm kind of ranting here, but just to kind of have to watch a horror movie and expect like Citizen Kane is just beyond absurd to me. Like just go in there and enjoy it.
Yeah, that's the main thing for me. It's like all I want to do is enjoy it. Like I say, it hasn't got to be a 5 star. An average film, I'm happy with it. It's like, for example, like we can't go back in time, we can't thingy, but if, say for example, Nightmare 5 was made tomorrow and I went to the cinema to it, see, would I be disappointed now? Because it's an average film with some decent scenes. As long as I like it and I don't come out the cinema thinking there was one good scene, it was completely rubbish. A film's got to be very, very, very bad for me to say I hate it. Like for me to say I hate a film, I've really got to hate it. I'm not just gonna say it. Like with Nightmare 5, I don't hate it. Like I say, if it's on telly, I'll watch it. It's not the worst film in the world, the best, but it's an average run of the mill film. And like I say, I think you're right. It's today's generation. It's either really crap and the worst thing you've ever seen, or it's completely the best thing you've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree. And with horror, I think there's only one horror movie that comes to mind where I can say that I hated it. Um, I don't think there's any redeeming qualities other than maybe like the violence, and we won't get into it because it's going to be a part of a series. But like, I mean, even if the kills are good, cool. If the kills are kind of bad, but the story's cool. Like, as long as there's something that, you can have a bad story, but the kills be cool, and I'm in. You can have a terrible kills, but the story be cool, and I'm in. As long as, like, I'm entertained. And I think I really wish people would just let themselves be entertained.
That's it. That's all I ask is be entertained. That's it. It's like totally going off thing here. This might surprise you. Like, it's nothing to do with horror really. Like, as you know, I'm a big Batman fan. I like my Batman films. I prefer the more serious Batman films. Batman and Robin is one of the worst films I've ever seen. It's entertaining as hell, and I can watch it. It entertains me. I can watch it because of how daft and stupid it is. Like, I can actually sit down and watch the film, open a can, have some food, and have a fun time with it because it's entertaining.
Yeah. Yep.
So Like I think people say like this is the worst film I've ever seen, and it's not. There's still some redeeming qualities to a film. It's just you're right. It's today's generation with oh it's the worst film or it's the best film. There's no middle ground anymore, which we've touched on.
Yeah, hyperbole is strong with like social media and like and commentary about cinema. Like you and I, where I believe we're cinephiles. Like we watch cinema and we enjoy it. Um, we're not out here degrading everyone's performance or production values. You always get the hyperbole. Well, this is the worst movie ever made. Well, I mean, clearly that's not the case because you haven't. I assure you haven't seen every movie ever, and B, like, are we talking? You're probably talking just about story or acting or like plot lines. Like, but when you take in like worst movie ever made, you have to take in editing, production, all that other stuff, and hyperbole is so strong right now in social media and cinema, and that bothers me a lot.
I agree. Like, I'll be honest. Like, I'll say this because I don't know if it's a franchise that will ever do. So when I say I hate a film, I mean it. And there's only one film I can truly say that I hate. I can tell you if you want to know because I don't know if it's a franchise that will do. And that's Jaws 4: The Revenge.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know if we'll cover that one. Yeah.
That is a movie
Thank you.
that I despise. Like it's got no entertainment value. It's very rare I'll stick a film on. And when I first watched Jaws 4, because my mate is a horror fanatic as well, was like, oh, you've watched Jaws 1, you've watched Jaws 2, you've watched Jaws 3, you might as well watch Jaws 4. It made me angry. That happened. I hate this film with a passion. Like it was just like nothing was good with it. It just no.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, to me, I mean, for me, it's just Jaws 1, and to me, there is no 2, 3, or 4. There is no Jaws 3D. There is no underwater aquatic center for me. It's just Jaws, and then that's it.
I do like Jaws 2, I'll be honest, but nothing beats the original.
Yeah, that was a fantastic movie. Fantastic movie.
It's perfect.
All right, so how do you want to do this next one? Do you want to do the remake or do you want to do Freddy vs. Jason?
Well, because I've put down Freddy vs. Jason because it come after it. So, yeah, for me, number 5 is Freddy vs. Jason.
Okay. All right.
It's pretty much the same as I said within the Jason ranking. Nothing changes with it. It's like it's a fun, entertaining film. If you're a Freddy fan, well, we're Freddy fans, but as everybody knows, our favourite franchise is Friday the 13th. But
yes, sir.
If you're a Freddy fan and you love Freddy, as I still do, you'll be happy from that part. Jason's okay, but yeah, it's a fun film. If you want to have fun, you stick Freddy vs. Jason on. It's still great. It still gives you the kick. It's still Freddy vs. Jason. We still get that. So yeah, it's at number 5, and it's this ranking. I'll give it in the Nightmare on Elm Street rankings.
Yeah, I don't have this one ranking, but I mean, I would probably put it. I don't have it ranking. I'm listening to myself. Hold on one second. Yeah, I don't have. All of a sudden, my audio, my own audio came through for some reason. I'm listening to myself.
Okay.
Hold on one second. Yeah, I don't. All of a sudden, my audio, my own audio came through for some reason. I'm listening to myself.
Okay.
All right, here we go. All of a sudden, my audio, my own audio came through for some reason. Oh, it's still looping. That's crazy. All right, here we go. All of a sudden, my audio, my own audio came through for some reason. I don't know why it's doing this.
I can't hear you. Like I can't hear you looping twice. Like I don't.
Okay, I think we're. All right. Okay, I think I fixed it. I think it's go away. If I was to rank it like the whole like series, I'd probably put it. Yeah, I'd probably put it 4 or 5. I think I would put it past. honestly, I'll put it fourth because those four I could watch like over and over again. 1, 3, New Nightmare, and Freddy vs. Jason. Like I can just watch and watch and watch and just turn it on and have fun with it. So yeah, I'd probably put it 4 for me.
Okay. Like I say, for me, the only Nightmare films I've got above it was Freddy's Revenge, which was number 4, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which is number 3, Dream Warriors number 2, and the OG, which was number 1.
Yep. Yep. And I mean, Freddy vs. Jason, it's cool because it's, we've kind of gone over this, so we won't like, I don't go hard with it, but Freddy's very much the comic relief for this movie because he has to carry it. His counterpart doesn't talk. And I'm glad Robert Englund's in this movie. Like I said, I'm bummed Kane Hodder wasn't in it, but I think it's a fun movie. Other than the water bit, I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, again, I agree with the water part.
The water part is very frustrating. I do not understand why they went that way.
No, mate. I'll never understand. Yeah, it's.
Well, now we're on to the remake, and I know for a fact you and I have this rated the same. So I will let you go, and I'll let you go first on this one.
Because I put in Freddy vs. Jason, so...
Hey, Scottish.
Number 9 is Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I went to the cinema for this, and when you wish you could go back in time and erase something from your life, this is I wish I could erase it. Like it's just not a good film. There's 2 scenes that I like within this film, and that is it. And them 2 scenes is there's 3 scenes. Where he's in the shopping place and in the market,
yep,
and he's like flashing in and out the real world.
Yep.
Looks cool. I like that shot. I liked when he was he had one of the victims upside down, and it's like, oh, why are you crying out? I haven't cut you yet. That was a cool scene. I like how he pronounced saying that stuff. That was cool. And I like the scene where it showed you him get caught on fire and turn into Freddy. That was a cool shot. And then after that, the only other scenes I liked was the end credits.
I'm with you. This movie ranks dead last for me, and for a couple reasons. One, to me, it was unnecessary. The remake as a whole wasn't needed. I think Robert Englund could still play Freddy. We could still continue. We could still have some Nightmare on Elm Street movies, at least at that time, because that was, 12 years ago?
It was.
So for me, the remake was completely unneeded. 2, as a father of a little girl, although you understand Freddy's backstory, and it's kind of always, Freddy's a child murderer, but as like a horror fan, you just kind of like throw it off the side. Like, he kills kids, but like the kids that they've shown of he's killed have always been like teenagers. So you're like, yeah, it's, in the back of your mind, you're like, well, that sucks, but you kind of don't really touch on it. The whole sexual abuse of kids and like implication of the sexual abuse, that was a huge turn off for me. That was terrible. Especially as a dad, that's not it's a very uncomfortable feeling. The only thing the only thing I think is redeeming of this whole movie is the look of Freddy. Like, Freddy actually looks like a burn victim here, which I actually thought was fun. Not a lot of other people liked it, but I thought that him actually looking like a burn victim and not like kind of what Freddy looks like. Is when I see Freddy, I don't necessarily see a burn victim. But with the 2010 remake, I see what a burn victim actually is, and that's so I did like the look. But obviously I don't like it more than Freddy, but I did like the look.
I won't lie, Raven. I don't like the look of him in this. I don't blame Jackie O'Leary. I think Jackie O'Leary is a very good actor. He's in Watchmen, very good film. Jackie O'Leary is a fantastic actor. Just think the role of Freddy Krueger is so hard to play. I mean, somebody that loves Jason Voorhees and really likes Michael Myers, even when it's not Kane Hodder, who as people know, same as you, that's our favourite Jason, you can still get away with it. All you got to do is put a mask on them and get them to like walk and have some good kills, and you can get away with it. Freddy, because he talks, and, you know, Robert Englund looks like Freddy Krueger. He just does. It's so hard to replace Robert Englund, so I don't blame Jackie O'Leary. Like I say, he's a great actor. Watchmen is a fantastic film, and Jackie O'Leary is a very talented actor. I
Agreed.
don't blame him. I just think it's the wrong guy. Like, don't get me wrong, I've got nothing against them wanting to continue the franchise of Nightmare on Elm Street, even without Robert Englund. I want a new start to Nightmare on Elm Street. I'd like to see new films come, and I get Robert Englund's not going to do it anymore. I can accept that, but they've still got to get the right actor to play Freddy Krueger, and they can do it. I can't remember what I was watching, but my mate is a Freddy Krueger nut. Like, he's got Freddy Krueger tattooed over him, and he's the Freddy guy. He's obsessed with him. I remember when we first watched. This is true as well. I'll have to get him on at some point and let him tell you. When we first watched Freddy versus Jason, we was we was actually arguing because he's like Freddy and I'm like Jason, and he was like, "Oh, Freddy wins," and I was like, "No, to me it's a draw, but you know, I'm going to stick with Jason." And but we argued, and it was funny. But yeah, man, like, I was watching a fan film. Somebody made it with like a cheap camera, but he looked cool as Freddy Krueger. So it was just like, if somebody from YouTube who used a cheap camera make himself look like a decent Freddy, surely Hollywood can come up with somebody to make at least an acceptable Freddy Krueger. So it's just finding the right actor. To me, Jackie O'Leary wasn't the right actor to play Freddy Krueger.
So, funny story, I have a friend, Nathan Thomas Milliner, who actually made a fan film, and I don't know if it's the one you're talking about or not, but it's Confessions of Freddy Krueger. And it was like pre-fire Freddy. So, actually probably wasn't. But you can find it on YouTube. It's a really good film, kind of like, it really goes into the psyche of like Freddy. And to your point, like, I think a lot of fan films are better than the remake. I think fans have done a lot better service to Freddy than whatever that was in 2010.
Even the kills, and then they're done shot for shot from like original film, like the sinking stairs, well, the sticky stairs, whatever you want to call it. And then it was just shot for shot, and it's just like, why? Like, first of all, like I say, I've got nothing against CGI if it's done well, but it was all done practical, and the scenes that they copied still look better in the original.
Yeah. It
just didn't make sense for me. Like I say, within the entire film, there's only 2 or 3 scenes that I can think of that was like, alright, that looked cool, but 2 or 3 scenes are going to save a film.
Yeah, no, and you're right. I mean, there's just, Jackie O'Leary did great with what he was given, and I don't fault him at all. I I just think that it wasn't needed. They were trying to ride the high of the Friday the 13th remake, which was phenomenally successful. So then we had what I think before that was Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That was like 2006. So like also fantastic, phenomenal. Not I say fantastic, but it did fantastic at the box office. And made a ton of money. Friday the 13th made a ton of money. So that's why I understand that's why they did this, but to me it just wasn't needed. Like Robert Englund was still capable of being Freddy. Should have just did a continuation of the Nightmare series and not created this child molesting piece of shit and put him on film.
Yeah, I agree. I fully agree with Raven. And I'll tell you what, the part that when I watched this particular part, and I remember actually saying to me mate, the part where they're chasing Freddy before he becomes Freddy.
Mm-hmm.
They're setting him on fire and he tears off his clothes and you see him like transforming into Freddy. That scene was cool. Watching that, I thought, wish we got a prequel, because I think Jackie O'Leary would have been fine in the prequel part, like building up to how he become Freddy, and then if the ending was where he got set on fire and you see it, like his clothes rip and then like the burns and everything, then the film ended. I think a prequel would have done really well, because I think that shot was shot well where he was doing that and those all running after him. He played a good normal Freddy, just not when he become Freddy. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would be in for like a Springwood slasher, like movie, like obviously like before he gets burned. And I don't know how much CGI costs nowadays and stuff like that, but I know they're capable of making actors look younger. I mean, look at the Marvel movies and Ant-Man, how they make Michael Douglas look like a young Hank Pym. Like, get Robert, have him do it, throw it in there, make a prequel. Like, I mean, you're not the first person I've heard bring it up. I think it'd be a fantastic idea.
There's sort of hit on that in the one of the better episodes, in my opinion, the Nightmare on Elm Street episodes, where it shows you him become Freddy, where he's like in court and everything. Yeah, it was a cool episode.
Yeah, there's a ton they could work with there.
There's a lot you can do with Freddy, and I get it. I have come to terms. I do believe we'll never get Freddy Krueger played by Robert Englund again. Can come to terms with it if they make another film, but it's just the Freddy's still gotta look good. Like, even if the film would have been good, the remake, I'd have still been thrown out, because of course this is just opinions. Like, we disagree with this. Like, you like the look of Freddy in the remake, I didn't like the look of it, so that would have pulled me out. It would have helped if the film was actually decent. Or maybe I've forgiven that a bit more, but overall it's like, it's one that I wish I could just take back and never went to the cinema.
Yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed I gave hard-earned cash for it. For sure.
Yeah. I mean, but it's how it is. It's like, let's be honest, it's like when a film comes out, we still secretly get excited because we want it to be good, or just see something new. It's like, even like when, totally different franchise here, but when The Ring come out, The Rings, like, I was super excited for that. I went to the cinema for it, and I was even a big fan of The Rings as well. I like that film. And whenever a new horror film comes out that I'm big into, I always get excited, no matter what. If a new trailer dropped tomorrow of a new Freddy Krueger film, I know it's not going to be Robert Englund, I'd still get excited, hoping it's going to be good. Get to the cinema. Just in the future, if we get a new Freddy, hopefully I say at the end of the film, I wish I'd go to the cinema.
Yeah, no. Hey, Robert's what, 74, 75 now, so I know like 2 or 3 years ago he said something about like he might have like one last go as Freddy. But given his age now and kind of just the brutality of that makeup and adding everything, I believe you're right. I don't think we'll ever see him as Freddy again. And that's unfortunate. But I mean, we still get to see Robert Englund be Robert Englund, and he's in the new Stranger Things, so I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. He looks brilliant, and the new Stranger Things looks brilliant. And but it's like even in Freddy vs Jason, which come out in 2003, he said that battered him. He says that film battered him. He says it was so hard to make. That was 2003, so I don't know if he'd be able to pull off being Freddy anymore just because of the physicality of the role. I do. Maybe they'd be able to pull off a prequel if we could ever get that, and I'd be up for that.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
Definitely be up for seeing Freddy Krueger before he become burnt Freddy, to see what he was like as a human, and maybe get more into of why he become the way he did. Like maybe something to do when he was a kid more. Like they touch on it in little bits, but I'd like to really get a deep dive into it.
Oh, I would 1,000% be on board with that. Like I'd spend a little bit of that Marvel money and make him look younger.
Exactly, yeah. And they could do it. They could do it, and I do think Robert would be able to pull something off like that. I just don't think he'd be able to do like a full Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Monster Freddy, I guess we could call it, and just because of the nature of the role, and there's a lot of physicality when he plays Freddy because of the kills and stuff. So yeah, man. Hopefully in the future we get a prequel, and if we do get another Freddy Krueger film without Robert, hopefully they choose the right person to play the role.
You know who I pick? That's probably be a good segue. I would take Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, I agree. I'd take Kevin Bacon. Kevin, yeah.
I think he would be a great Freddy. I don't know why, but I think he would be just an absolute great Freddy.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon would, and it's kind of weird that you said that because my mate is the Freddy Krueger nut. He to Kevin Bacon as well, to be honest. And,
oh yeah.
So, like I say, like he's like us. Like we love horror in general, but we've like my franchise is Friday the 13th, like yours, and his is Nightmare on Elm Street. So, yeah, he. You can imagine his face, like. I love Nightmare on Elm Street, but that's his franchise. And when he went to the cinema, his face at the end was priceless when we were walking out the cinema.
Oh, for the remake?
Yeah, his face was priceless. That might have just been worth it just to see his face at the end. Honestly, his face was brilliant.
Kevin Bacon, 63? Good lord. I didn't realize that.
I think he could still play. I mean, new actors... I'll tell you who I think would be able to play him, and I don't know if people will agree with me here. I'll tell you who I really do think could pull off Freddy Krueger, because he's got the same sort of build as Robert. I think he'd be able to put a good spin on it, but Bill Skarsgård, who played Pennywise.
Oh yeah.
I think what he can do with his eyes, like what he done with Pennywise, I do think Bill Skarsgård could.
Oh, that's good.
Play Freddy Krueger, because I don't know if you know this, they're remaking The Crow, and Bill Skarsgård's playing The Crow.
Yeah. I heard that. It was so I have a whole thing about that. Jason Momoa was going to play Eric Draven, and then he's not, which is kind of weird. Like I really wasn't keen on that idea. Like, so for me, so just full disclosure, The Crow is my favorite movie, like, of all time. And I got to meet James O'Barr, who is essentially the creator of The Crow, the graphic novel. Inspired me when I was a kid or younger to take up drawing and really kind of work on it. So when I met him, we talked for, I don't know, babe, how long did we talk for? Like, we talked a long while. Like, he knew that I was, like, legitimate fanboying, and was, like, essentially just kind of why I chose the graphic design path that I went down. So we started talking, and he pulls out his phone, and he's like, "Hey, look at this," and like he starts showing me like videos and like pictures and stuff, and it's Jason Momoa, full makeup, full like test scenes, like doing like the Crow stuff as Eric Draven, and I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm in. Like I'm sold. That's it. Like I want that." And then obviously it's been in development hell, so they never went down through it. Now they're doing Bill Skarsgård, which hey, I'm in for that too. Bill's great. I love Bill. And to your point, because I know it's kind of got off track there. To your point, that would be an amazing Freddy. I'd be on board with that.
I may because like I love The Crow. It's one of totally going off topic again, but I'm obsessed with crows. I absolutely love crows, and it's through Crow through watching it when I was a kid, and I love that film. And I'm a little worried about that it's getting remade. I just have to do it right, but at least they've got the actor right. Bill Skarsgård or Jason Momoa. It is that he played Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, Drago, and he's Aquaman, and yeah.
There you go. I like Game of Thrones, but I was more of a fan of season 1 when spoilers to anybody that ain't seen it, so a couple of seconds before I say it. I'm going to say it now just to let people know. I don't want to people just getting into Game of Thrones. When he died, I still watched the show. I never liked it off as much as when he was in it. He made the show for me. He was brilliant. And when I heard he was going to play Rick Draven, just come to the point now where it's like, films are going to get made. There's nothing we can do. Just give me an half decent one. When I heard it was in his hands, I was like, okay, at least he's a good actor. And same now with Bill Skarsgård, he's a good actor. Now it's just getting the writing and the effects down to it. So hopefully, if I do it, we get a decent and respectful movie for the first film.
Yeah.
Brandon Lee was brilliant.
I hope it's a little more true to the graphic novel. Like I would like to see like the Skull Cowboy and things like that. I hope it's a little more truer to that. But it is what it is.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. And I got to admit, I am jealous that you've met him. I haven't.
Yeah, no, that was a huge day for me. Because I met Rochelle Davis, who played Sarah, and Ernie Hudson, who plays Officer Albrecht. Who else have I met? Michael Massey. Bailing. Who else I got on my poster? I can't remember who else I got, but got the I had obviously I'll never get Brandon's signature, and Michael Massey, aka Funboy, passed away, and then Gideon passed away. Gideon's pawn shop. God, what's the dude's name? I can't remember his name. But anyway.
Oh, no.
But yeah, I mean, that's my movie. We could definitely do a 2-hour talk about that.
We definitely could. Tell you what we'll have to do then. Because I wouldn't class The Crow as horror, really. Could maybe fit under the umbrella, but it's not horror, if that makes sense.
No, it does, yeah, 100%. I'm with you.
I sort of put it under the same umbrella as Batman Returns. It's just a dark movie, I'd say. It's really good. I'll tell you what we'll have to do at some point, once we've done a lot of the franchises, is maybe do like our top 20 films of all time or something, top 10, top 20.
Oh, yeah.
I could definitely do that. And I've got to say, man, like, yeah, I am jealous you've met all them. And because I think that's it, man. Like, because I know America, like, you have the brilliant Oricons and you get the actors that we can't get from the UK, so I think I need to move to the US.
I mean, that's horror cons are great here, and obviously a lot of the big productions or things like that are based obviously here in America, and a lot of the actors. But I mean, obviously then you guys, when you over there, you got, I imagine, like in my mind, I see like a lot of Tom Hardy and a lot of Cillian Murphys and a lot of Andrew Lincoln, and all those guys. I feel like they do a lot of cons over there, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, they do. I mean, look, you get a lot of good actors out. Like one of the ones that comes over a lot is Robert Englund. He's always over here. He always comes over. Kane Hodder comes over quite a bit. But the rare ones, he's like Bruce Campbell, who he comes in like once in a blue moon, and I mean once in a blue moon. And you know, it's really odd to like meet some of like actors that really come over to the UK, but then you've got like the actors always come over, like Robert Englund's always over here.
Yeah, Bruce is rare here, but not. But he's starting to make a lot more rounds. Like my wife and I met Bruce a couple of years ago, and he's my current Facebook profile picture, where he's like trying to steal it looks like he's stealing my wife. Love that picture.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. It's hilarious, man.
Bruce is a good dude. I really like talking with him. All right, well, so let me just wrap this up so I can stop recording. That is our Nightmare on Elm Street discussion. We have a poll out now on Twitch. I will be posting one here on Twitter here shortly, and Swan can do the same of what we're going to discuss. Right now, Halloween is currently leading, but make sure you check out on Twitter as well and vote there, and then you'll see what we get to discuss there.
I'll tell you something, Halloween's going to be very, very interesting.
I think so. I imagine we'll go all the way up to Halloween Kills, right? So
yeah.
All right, yeah, that'll be an interesting bit. That'll be
a whole lot of Halloween films, man.
Yeah, we're gonna include Halloween 3, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna I'll rewatch the entire franchise as well, so I'll always try and do that so I can give a proper ranking, like I always do. And then there's a few films of the Halloween franchises, like I'm just thinking, oh god, I've got to watch it again. There's a few of them in the franchise. I'm like, oh god, no. I've got to put myself through that. Mind you have, so I guess that is about. I can think when I'm watching it, I'm like, yeah, Raven's suffering as well, so it's alright.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely. Yeah, there are a couple films. I know. There's one film in particular that I know that not a lot of people like that I like a little more than them, so that'll be interesting. But to our previous discussion, where I talked about there's only one horror film that I absolutely hate and despise, that movie will fall into that list. So
right now I'm interested. I wonder if it's the one I'm thinking of. I'm going to say it. I don't want to the finger if it is or not the Halloween franchise that we're doing, but I think I might know which one you're on about, I think.
So I got reminded. Before I hit stop record here, what do you think is the best kill out of the Nightmare on Elm Street series?
The Dream Warriors. I call it the Spider-Man. It looks like he's got webs.
Yeah, with his veins.
The veins.
Yeah, 100%. The marionette one. Yeah, that's mine too. 100%. I think it's.
As soon as he said that, I was like, I haven't got to think about it.
Yeah, it's either that kill. It's not either. It's that kill followed closely by it's Primetime Bitch, where he gets her head smashed into the TV, and then Johnny Depp's death, because it's Johnny Depp. So I like that kill.
Next to it, oh, go on. Sorry, mate.
No, you're good. I'm done.
Next to it for me, I don't know if it's to surprise you, but my second favourite kill from the Nightmare on Elm Street series is also from the same film, and it's get eye and sticks its.
Oh yeah.
That kill's brilliant.
I have a hoodie where it says It's got Fred, and he's got the syringe fingers, and it says it's got the Dare logo, and it says "Don't do drugs," and it's Freddy with the syringe needles.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
That's fantastic.
Great.
Brilliant. No way. See, this is what I mean. That's why I've got to come. Like, we can't get a sort of clubs here in the UK, so.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to pay for shipping, but if you go to London 1888, my boy Christopher Ott, who I met at a horror convention, and now I pretty much own his entire fucking line of clothing. London 1888 is dude makes some great horror shit.
I'll have to check that out. I'll check it out. Yeah,
that's London 1888, based off Jack the Ripper, so that's also a good little nod there.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all right. So keep going. I'm sorry, keep going. What you're saying about the that was your second favorite. Okay, what's your third?
Third.
Yeah, I put you on the spot now.
I do like the prime time. There's a kill. You know what? I've got to be honest. My third favourite is from Part 4, When I Suck Face.
Oh, okay.
I think it's that. I just it's so unique and different and just completely messed up that it's just like, what the hell? Like, it just sucked the soul out of it. It's mental. I've always enjoyed that kill, and like I say, I touched on it before, but man, Elm Street 4 is, sometimes I get the urge to just say, you know what, I want to watch Part 4. So
yeah, I mean, yeah,
I kind of like Part 4.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Not bad. I think honestly, our rankings, even at I think majority of the time, even if a movie's ranked exceptionally low, we still think highly of it. Minus A New Nightmare, or not New Nightmare, but minus the remake and perhaps another Halloween film we'll discuss. Even if we rank it low, I think you and I both still, it rates highly as far as just enjoyment overall.
Yeah, like it's like even with Freddy's Dead, it's ranked very low, but still not an overall terrible film to me. It's still entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
Again, it's not one that I ever feel like putting on, like, really. But like I say, I've already touched on this, but if somebody says Dream Child or Freddy's Dead, even though Dream Child looks better, it looks better, well made, I'd still rather watch Freddy's Dead just because it entertains me more.
1,000%. 1,000%.
It's because the old Looney Tunes vibe. They might as well said that Bugs Bunny directed and wrote it.
Oh, maybe start coughing there.
It's crazy. So, but yeah. But as always, Raven, it's brilliant doing this with you, and if it is going to be Halloween, I'm excited for that. I can't lie, I can't wait till we do the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, I think you and I might just have to not do it. I decided to do a poll, just to kind of let what everybody else wanted to see, and each time I'm like, really hope it's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it's not. So maybe after we do, depending on the outcome of the Twitter poll, whatever that is, if it's not Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I say we'll just do that the week after.
Okay, and then at some point we'll get to Alien as well, and
yeah, we gotta get the Scottish geek in here.
Yeah, we have. Interesting to see what the rankings will be with that. I mean, I already know all my rankings with Alien. I watched the Alien franchise quite a bit, so I already know my number one. My least favourite.
Oh, speaking of the Scottish geek, hey, what's up?
Is she in the chat?
Yeah, she is. I'll be honest, Scottish. I want you in all. I want you in all these, just so I'll just fucking listen to you talk for 2 hours.
But yeah, it's always fun doing these, Raven. Yeah, I do love doing them, and if it's going to be Halloween, very excited to do that. I'm not excited to watch a few films that I've got to watch and put myself through it, but I might have to open a few cans to get through them.
Yeah. Apparently, I am dying. Hold on 1 second. I was eating food there, and I guess I got a little stuck in my throat.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm good now. Yeah. Katie said she's lurking, but she's around. She is she wants to do the alien one for sure.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. I always like hearing other people's opinions. Like, cause I watch so many other people's ranking videos and reviews, and I love to see other people's opinions. Even if it's a film that I don't like and they love it, or vice versa, I might love it and they may not. That's the beauty of being an horror fan or a movie fan in general. Getting people's different takes and opinions. Like, people always, as I'm sure you was, like, the ranking of Jason Goes to Hell was quite surprising for some people, but it's a movie that I've always loved, and I watch that film a lot.
Yeah. And speaking of like getting Katie in here, like I could just like, what's that? I could just moderate you two. I'll just ask questions and listen to you talk. Cause as an American, like I love like British and like Scottish accents. So like I'll just fucking listen to you guys two talk, and I'll just ask you questions and you all answer and go right at it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I know Sinfonia, who was in here earlier, would probably like that as well. I don't know if she's still here or not.
Yeah. It's brilliant. I love hearing people's other perspectives of opinions on the films and where they rank. I do think the Halloween is going to be very interesting.
I think it will be, because I know a lot of the Halloween movies that I like aren't well received, minus obviously the OG and 2. And then if you include Rob Zombie's movies, and if we include Part 6, are we using the original cut or are we doing the producer's cut? Because that's a big difference.
Because
honestly, that'd affect my rating like a lot.
Yeah. We'll go with the one that people mostly rank. So
Okay.
That's the uncut version, right?
Of Part 6?
Yeah.
Not a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people have watched the producer's cut, so I think it would be the original one.
Original.
Yeah.
Okay. Part 6 is one that I need to refresh my memory with. But I'll rewatch it all anyway. But I think it's going to be very interesting to do the Halloween one, because it's going to be a bit like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre one.
Oh yeah, I've been waiting 2 weeks to bust your balls about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre one. I'm just.
I think somebody that loves that franchise might hate me.
Uh-oh.
There's a certain film that it's not giving nothing away, because it's not giving nothing away, but there's a certain film that people love, and I'm just like, oh, I've never been like a...
That's interesting. That's interesting. I'm contemplating. I can only think of it's either one or two films. I mean, obviously, I think it has to be. I would think you rate the OG high. So, yeah, I would. I think it's only one of two films that I would think that you would rate not great there, that everybody else would.
Yeah, it's one that I've never been able to get behind. It doesn't give nothing away, because to me there's quite a few very good Texas Chainsaw Massacre films. There's one that I see people thinking, and if a lot of people are gonna but yeah, we'll see. And to be honest, quite the same with Halloween as well. So I'm really excited to do these.
Yeah, I'm 100% in on it. Either, what was the poll? I mean, shit. It doesn't. I mean, I'm horrid, man. We can talk about anything. Like, I'm good. I'd be excited to talk about.
And to be honest, like even with just, me and my mate have never done rankings like this. It's normally just like while we're in person. And his face when I done the Halloween franchise, his face was like, "Are you like having a joke?" And I was like, "No." Like it gobsmacked him. So did when we done the Texas Chainsaw as well. So it's going to be interesting to see people's reaction in the chat that loves horror as well. Your reaction, because my mate Adam could not believe where I some of these.
I got to remind myself that I can, before I go live, I'll activate my camera on Discord, and that way it's just part of my overlay in OBS, and that way you can see it without having to have my stream up and see my reaction or whatever, because there's probably a little bit of delay there.
What I can do if you want, Raven, because like I say, like with Discord, it's still new to me. Like I said before, we done the Friday the 13th. That's the first time I've ever used camera on Discord. So I was like, "What?" That was new to me. I was like, "What's going on?" But what I can do, I don't mind, is when we go live next, doing the Halloween franchise, if that's what it is or whatever franchise it's going to be, I can put you on Twitch on my phone.
Okay.
I don't mind that. Maybe like put one earphone in.
Well, what I can do, I mean,
yourself.
I think because Twitch there's a delay, so I don't know how comfortable with Discord. Like, I personally like Discord because it's like direct. Like I see you and I can put my webcam in Discord, but I always go live first and then open up Discord, which doesn't read my webcam. So, I mean, I like it just because I can see. I'm like you're not in your head right now. Like I can see like your immediate reaction. So I like that. Twitch there's a little bit of delay. And Sinfonia says, I appreciate how the vodcast is not lacking in hot British guys. So there's that.
Hello, Symphonia. Thank you.
Oh, Sinfonia. What are we going to do with you? All right, well, I'm going to stop hitting record on that.